What's up? My name is Bradley, and you are tuning in to Batter Days. Batter Days are every Saturday for the month of October, where I will be talking about bats, the cool things that they do, the cool things that they are, and the cool things they provide us. So sit back and relax and enjoy some really cool bat facts. What's up? Welcome to the first installment of Batter Days with your host, the most, me, Bradley. And I'll be talking to you about bats every Saturday for the month of October. I got some special facts for you lined up here, so let's dig in. Bats are in the order Chiroptera, which just means hand wing in the Greek. And there's more than 1,400 species of bats flying around out there being cute, eating bugs and fruit and pollen and whatnot. They inhabit every continent on the planet except for Antarctica. It's too cold there. But did you know that bats um, make up 25% of all mammals that can fly? That's right. 25% of mammals can fly. And that is because they have specialized wings. I like this photo a lot because it shows the bat wing and what the bat wing is made out of. So, as you can see here, they have these elongated bones that run over segments of the wing, and those are actually modified fingers, just elongated fingers. That's right. And then they also have what we call a patagium. And the patagium really is just an elastic membrane that stretches over those fingers there. And the patagium is actually really stretchy. Scientists have found that it can stretch up to 400% its size and not tear. If it does tear, the bat is able to replace that tear or fix a hole in their wing within about a week. They also have these little veins here that aid in thermal regulation. So when the bat's flying, they get really warm, and so that warm blood meets the cool air and cools down the blood so the bats don't overheat. So that's pretty cool. Now, as you can see in this photo behind me, bats are pretty diverse. There's about 1,400 species out there flying around, and we're going to dip into that diversity in just a second here. Also, diversity is an old wooden ship. So let's define what a mammal is real quick. So mammals are warm-blooded. They have fur or hair. Some mammals have replaced that fur or hair with blubber, but not bats. Then three, they give birth to live young. Shout out to Echinidza platypus. They lay eggs, but we can talk about that another time. They have 3 inner ear bones in their ear and also have a neocortex in their brain. So that's pretty cool. This is actually a white hunter and fruit bat. They're endangered, sad. But scientists don't know exactly why they're all white. They're the only all white species of bat out there. Next up on the diversity train is the bumblebee bat from Thailand. Unfortunately, bumblebee bats are also endangered, but they are arguably the smallest mammal on the planet. There is a species of shrew out there that comes in close second or ties the bumblebee bat, but bumblebee bats are insectivorous, one, and two, they can grow up to an inch in length and have a 4-inch wingspan. So say hello to the bumblebee bat, and I hope that they make it out of this nasty world alive. Oh yeah, and I can't forget to mention the flying foxes. Look at how swole they are. Jesus. Their wingspan can get up to about 5 feet in length, so they are the largest species of bat out there. And they just eat fruit. So maybe I should start flying around and eating fruit, and I'll get swole. Or maybe just hit the gym. I don't know. Oh, and by the way, fun fact for you, there's a couple scientists out there that thought that flying foxes were actually primates. One of them being Carl Linnaeus, who was a famous taxonomist who named animals crazy things, but he saw that flying foxes had pectoral nipples, and he thought that that was only a characteristic that primates had. So he was like, yo, they're primates. Well, genetics kind of proved him wrong. Then there's another guy who was looking at the neuroscience in bat brains, and especially flying foxes, and was convinced that flying foxes were primates because they had crossing neurons between the eyes and the brain, and only primates have that. But genetics, again, proved him wrong. Speaking of genetics, we'll dip into the orders or the suborders of bats. So there was the microchiropterans and the megachiropterans several years ago, and those are the two suborders of bats. Microchiropterans being the echolocating bats that were generally smaller in size, so microchiropteran, easy to remember. Then you have your megachiropterans. As you can guess, they are the large bats. They are the fruit-eating bats. So that was fine and dandy, and I was driving with that. But then all of a sudden, modern day genetics kind of came in and jumbled everything around. So now they have the Yimptochiropterans and the Yangochiropterans. I nailed it. I've been getting those freaking pronunciations wrong, but anyways, now those are the two new suborders of bats out there, and there are some echolocating bats in both of the suborders now. So confusion, yay! So back on the diversity train, so being 1,400 different species of bats out there, filling all sorts of ecological niches. I'm going to talk more about the different species of bats there are out there, if that's okay with you guys. What the hell? This is the tube-lipped nectar bat. Only a face a mother could love. But they are actually found in Ecuador, up in the mountains, and they were recently discovered in 2005. They have a very special ability to eat nectar from a certain plant that lives in Ecuador. So go figure. Here's some cool photos of this tube-lipped bat that lives in Ecuador. But as you can see, they have a really long tongue, specifically adapted for um, getting that nectar there, cornering the market for a certain kind of nectar from a certain kind of plant. So that's cool. But their tongue there is 1.5 times long than their body. And where does that tongue go when it rests? It has a special cavity in its chest area. Then we got a scary looking one like this one. This is Trichops cirrhosis, found in Central America and South America, and they specialize in eating frogs. And they can go around listening for frogs at night, doing their calls, and they can actually detect which frogs are safe to eat and which frogs are toxic just by listening to their calls. Isn't that crazy? So yeah, and if the frogs aren't calling, they'll just echolocate and find them that way. So frogs in South and Central America are screwed. And then we got the pallid bat, which is found in North America, in the deserts of North America, and scientists have observed them actually walking on the ground to find their prey. And what their prey are scorpions and crickets and small invertebrates. So that's pretty cool. So not all bats hunt solely in the sky. Some bats walk on the ground, like these guys. This is the pallid bat, by the way. Now, since it's Halloween season, spooky season, I do have to mention the vampire bats. There's about 3 species of vampire bats that all specialize in feasting on the blood of certain animals. These guys are going after that chicken here. But vampire bats are pretty cool. They actually share blood meals with each other. So maybe I'll talk about that in another segment. But yeah, so bats are very specialized to do different things. Now, bats are really cool. I hope you enjoyed the first installment of Batter Day. A couple more facts for you. 1 in every 5 species of bats are endangered, and there are things that you can do to help bats in your community. And we can talk about that in a different segment. But I just wanted to prove to you that bats actually do things for us. So, researchers have found that bats save chocolate farmers $800 million a year. Because bats will eat the insects that feast on chocolate plants or cacao. I don't know. Someone prove me wrong. But they do really cool things for us. They provide ecosystem services. And I hope you really enjoyed this talk. And next time I'll be talking about misconceptions about bats. And maybe next time I'll be talking about hibernation and echolocation and stuff like that. So I hope you enjoyed this bat fact segment and have a good day. Toodaloo.